And we are live. Hello. This is the first. I almost forgot one thing. There we go. This is the first Sunday stream I've done where I've actually had to set up the reaction capture or window again. Since if you don't know, I reinstalled Prism Live to try and fix some settings, and well, that did allow me to get a clean slate on some of this on things, since I'd put so many video sources. But yeah. I'm still not sure if I'm going to react to what I'm going to react to. Oh, and also I'm currently making sure I've got something working out. Sure that I've got the right setup for something. For Factorio, I've been trying to get my head wrapped around the idea of using a train base in Factorio. It's mainly in regards to setting up the train. Ugh, don't want that channel. Oh. But before I do, I'm not going to you may have noticed that if you came from Twitter, or you probably didn't if you're watching this, that I said I'd found the perfect thing I want to react to. I'm not going to react to that right away for two reasons. And first of all, I obviously want to get things set up. But there's also the simple fact that, well, long story short, I'm not going to have it take up the full window before you ask. I'm just doing this so that I can edit the transformation. And but yeah, just realized that now this first video I'm reacting to is just basically Crypto Bros taking an L. Just gonna look at the mod settings for the mod I installed. If you're curious what it does, basically it allows me to set the fluid. There are two things that I always make sure to turn off before every world. Well, I make sure to set at those being in always setting the research queue so it's available. Well, since quite frankly, having to constantly go back and queue up a new tech whenever I research something is annoying. And the second thing being, well, turning off cliffs because those are annoying to deal with. This looks like a good seed. Now, this one struck out video I'd like to point out that I don't have much context behind, but I do know that it's from Gamescom, which is that big games thing in Germany. It's notable because, well, they actually have the demo for Stalker 2 there, and I would love to. And the only thing stopping me from actually like being there in person and playing it is, well, I'm an American, and also there's the fact that I don't speak German. So while that was kind of an unfortunate spot. So aside from the fact that I don't have the financial means to go there, there's also the fact that I don't have a good way of communicating. Like, I could probably find someone who would speak English ish there, since I imagine that there's at least a decent amount of Germans who speak English, since if you don't know, English is a Germanic language. If you're curious why I'm back to Factorio, well, if you haven't heard the news, they unveiled the new expansion, and it's and it deals with space. I might as well at least have the see if I can get further than my previous games of space exploration. Let's see how many furnaces I'll need. In case you're curious how I got bots so early, I'm using a mod that lets you start with them. But let's actually get this video started. Oh, before I forget.
I'm not sure if it's the summer heat causing these GPUs to melt, but what is it with the gameplay trailers dropping during Gamescom that look like they're struggling to hold a solid frame rate while they cook eggs on top of them for breakfast that day? We got an order of Sunny Side Up with
You know, that reminds me of how Hunt Down the Freeman, and there was supposedly like one of the textures that was way higher than it should have been. Like, it was actually higher than the amount of polygons or like the texture had more polygons or pixels. I think it was polygon. I forget what the exact specific were, but in terms of the processing power, it required more or to process that than Godzilla required. In fact, give me a second and let me look it up. Okay. It was actually something that was planned, and it was polygons. Specifically, it was the Saiga 12. Of which it wasn't exactly lore or friendly. But it was like 2 billion polygons, which, for comparison's sake, the model for Godzilla from the 2014 movie used 500,000 polygons. Like, I'm just saying, like, it feels odd that there are so many like, I can get that there are games that... It feels so odd that there's so many devs that Can It Run Crisis as a baseline. Also, fun fact, if you're curious as to why iCrysis has its reputation... The Crisis was actually made with something very different in mind. And, like, the mindset behind it was originally that clock speeds, not age, would be the thing to improve. Instead of the number of cores. However, because as the devs miscalculated in the direction CPU's development would go. They did not plan ahead.
Stalker 2 a few days ago, and now we're completely scrambled with another game off the grid. You guys remember?
I am going to try and play Stalker 2 when it comes out, and before you ask, I did actually check, and while my computer can't run it at the highest settings, it can run it at decent enough settings.
That one, the one that wasn't an NFT riddled crypto project until I uncovered that it was, and so the company tried to take down my video, but I just said no, and then they admitted, well shit. Yeah, well, if the latest trailer is anything to go by, I'd say that it's not only an NFT crypto project, but it's probably mining in the background based on the frame rates on this one. Actually, future Big Fry here, IGN uploaded the gameplay trailer for Off the Grid a couple of days before the official Off the Grid. YouTube uploaded it. IGN's gameplay is running at like 10 to 15 FPS. The Off the Grid gameplay on the official channel is running at 60 FPS. So now I gotta re-edit this video because of IGN's incompetence. Love it. So Off the Grid, a third-person extraction game being made by the team at Gunzilla Games, being led by Neil Blomkamp. Yeah, that Neil Blomkamp of District 9 fame. They put a...
You know, it's actually not as unheard of for a dev to make, for a movie director to actually make a video game. Like, Steven Spielberg actually directed a game called Blockus, I believe it was. Well, I know it was for the Wii. Let me double check. Boom Blocks, that's the name of it. Huh, it was actually pretty positively received. Maybe I should try checking it out one time.
Star-studded AAA staff team together to create one of the ugliest looking fucking games I think I've seen in my life. If this is Unreal Engine 5, I'm glad our game stuck to Unreal 4. Jesus Christ. The lack of decent lighting, the muddy textures, the animations from, I'm guessing, what looks to be a third-person template. This is disgusting. According to IGN, Off the Grid throws players into a covert corporate war between three companies on the tropical, dystopian Teardrop Island. I'm shedding tears looking at this crypto monstrosity. Blending PvE and PvP, you'll experience hectic 150-player battle royales as a cyber-limbed Zero, fighting to survive while simultaneously taking on a 60-hour narrative campaign. Extract high-value loot and upgrade your body with cybernetic limbs to give yourself the edge to reach the top. I do find it strange that nowhere in their marketing, even still to this day, at least on the public side, are they mentioning that it's a crypto-based project in which they have a token called Gun Token. Creative. The only reason why I know this is true is because they...
You know, I remember watching District 9 in my high school class. I forget, I believe it was like, I forget the context, but I know that it was like, I think it was like English or something. But that movie was pretty visually impressive, even though it was like 5 years old. Like, I'll admit that Zack Snyder is probably the best example of a director who goes for style, of someone who like goes for whose movies look really good. Like, I'm not a fan of him as a filmmaker, but one thing I will not take away from him is that he knows how to make a movie look good. But I would have expected better in terms of the visual department from Blomkamp. Like, it's not like Masaki Yuasa, you know, the guy behind the Tatami game and Kenonozume, who's more focused on the story and is generally perfectly fine with putting visuals second. And like, off-model is kind of to be expected with his work. I wonder who... I know that there was that video... from whatever from YGG Studios, I think their name is that compared Zack Snyder to the director of Attack on Titan. I wonder who the Western counterpart of Yuso would be.
They tried to suppress my video last year when I exposed them for it. I mean, one look at who Gunzilla Games is following on Twitter and you'll understand that this game has NFT written all over it. No fucking thanks. Also, a shout out to Diskin over on Twitter. He's a user who follows me. He sent me an image of this, which shows the Guns Wallet app where you can manage all of your Guns token NFTs that you can get in game. And over here, it looks like you can get a sniper rifle, an A50 fast scope that you can then sell or send or do whatever they want you to do with it. Now, I do have to give credit to their marketing team. They've put together a CG miniseries, their website, their logos, their style branding, all looks incredibly well done, and it's definitely easy to fool people when it looks this professional. But it falls apart completely when I see a 1-minute trailer of a game where half of your gameplay is some old CG dickhead sitting in a streamer room that puts Dr. Disrespects to shame. Or should I say Dr. Scorn? I mean, what can you even...
You know, on the topic of Dr. Disrespect's game Dead Drop, I'm actually half tempted to, like, stream it just for fun, where, like, if that $100,000 item he hypothetically professed in was actually in the game, like, I would actually, like, stream myself basically extraction camping to get it, then I'd use the proceedings to buy a car, because I would like to get my hands on a Rivian. And those are pretty cool old pickup electric trucks. But I bring this up because, honestly, with that, I'm not sure if that actually involves NFTs, but I actually can't see it surviving for long since, well, the problem is more, who's going to pony up the money for what he described? I'd like, at the very least, the way I see it, it would make more sense if this was like some game in some dystopian thing where, like, rich people would throw in huge amounts of money into the game and, like, poor people aim in the form of, like, those items he described. Unless he got, like, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and it's Mark Cuban and Mark Zuckerberg. Probably not Elon Musk, since, well, Twitter's below, or is probably putting a dent in any desire Elon would have to join something like that. To back the game with, like, a bunch of money each, which I doubt is the case. I don't see him getting a lot of money for this sort of thing. Unless, like it's Twitch that's actually backing the game, but I doubt that's the case.
Say about it. The best part of the trailer is the voice actor making a guitar solo sound. And yeah, maybe I'm going a little hard, but, like, this is Gamescom. This is main stage event larger than E3. This is millions of dollars invested into a video game that looks like something I'd find on Steam's early access for $15. And the thing is, it's not even all their money. Imagine what people who invested into this bullshit think. The animations, the environments, the lighting here, this all looks very, very early. And as you can see at the top, you see the version numbers like 0.0083. It's okay to be early, but why even show this at all? This is my problem and my main criticism when it comes to NFT crypto project video games, is the gameplay always seems to come last, but the storefronts and the crypto and the gun token and all of that is planned and meticulously organized to maximize the cash flow, but the gameplay itself is always dog shit. And, like, this looks terrible. And what, they expect us to be impressed by this. You guys have a AAA star-studded, like, millions of dollars invested into this, and this, like, okay. I do find it funny that just when the gameplay starts to look really, really bad, they cut it. This guy lands on a rooftop, turns around, and you can see just starts to glitch out as he's going for the knife. Cut to the guy talking. I feel like I already know what you guys are gonna think, but am I off the mark here? Or does this just look like one of the worst game trailers that we've seen in quite a long time? And I understand they're gonna call themselves indie. The truth is, these guys have an astronomical lineup of developers working on this, and I'm not quite sure where all of that talent is going. And keep in mind, on their own website, there's an article from August 9th of last year in which it says Gunzilla Games raises $46 million to redefine the battle royale genre. $46 million, and this is what they felt like they should show to the public.
What's up, Cobra fans? Welcome to Cobra's Corner. Is this for real? Yes, Black Sabbath. 3 huge game developers have gotten together to create the ultimate gaming experience. The top video game players in the world. Are they any good in real-life battle royale type situations? Not this, but actually this.
Wasn't sure if that was an ad.
Playing around on the screen. We do have ex-Navy SEALs coming down. We need the best of the best. Anybody can play. You just gotta be brave enough to take a bullet. Kilo Kitty wants to know.
$50, $70. Just counting out how much I all have left. $80.
If it hurts. Of course it hurts. We donate 100 grand worth of cyber limbs. But there's a chance for fame. There's a chance for fortune. I need you to take her down to Midtown Harbor. Do not up. You can also... Oh, God. Hey, look at me. Welcome to me, fans. Click me. Like me. I don't care. Watch me. Don't watch me. I'm over this whole thing. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button at the bottom of the screen.
Now, even though that looks like complete dog shit, at least it's still years away from even coming out. Oh, wait, never mind. It's slated for later this year. How? What's the game gonna look like at launch? Now, apparently on August 1st of this year, the PlayStation Store page for this game was up, and then it was taken back down. And then with this article from the Loadout saying that it is slated to come out this year, I just, like, I would have said 2027 just based on how bad it looks. I'm at a loss for words. This is what $46 million got you. As always, I really want to know what you guys think of this one. I think this is the worst game trailer that we have seen, at least in like the AA/AAA space. I want to say ever, but I'm curious. Let me know what you guys think down below. And while you're down there, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content just like this. We're covering everything Gamescom. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very impressed so far with what we've seen. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
Okay, so you might wonder why I chose to watch that. Well, aside from the fact that it's always fun to see crypto bros take a big L, and, well, this might as well be another argument as to the games should stay as far away from NFTs as possible. Like, having crypto-funded games, you could do, I guess, as it's not a big deal, like, especially if it's a game that most studios would be hesitant to touch, but, like, and, like, being able to purchase crypto, like, if you can actually, if the storefront takes it, sure, don't really care, like, you're not gonna see me use it anytime unless, like, I somehow happen to get my hands on a bunch of crypto, and need to, like, get rid of it, although I'll probably find something else, like, does Tesla still take crypto as a, I remember hearing Tesla took crypto as a currency at one point. Do they still do that? But regardless. In case you're curious, it's why I chose to do this. There's a few reasons. Aside from the one I just mentioned, and they all have to do with another game he mentioned. You may remember in Stalker 2, that game was originally going to have crypto at one point, but fortunately the devs decided it was originally going to have NFTs and crypto at one point, but the devs fortunately decided against it. Now, I'm going to have to put subtitles on this one since, well, let me double check. I think it's published by someone who speaks Korean. Yeah, that was actually a really solid Google. That was actually a really clear Google Translate stream. It result, like, I'm not gonna try and read the romanticized version of this. That's what it means if you like take another language and write it out by how it's pronounced. But we are watching this thing I stumbled across randomly, and I had been like meaning to watch it later at some point, but I realized, hey, since I'm about to start Call of Pripyat, why not react to it now? Oh, and before I forget, In case you're curious what I was doing, I have this sign on my door that says "Do Not Disturb." It lets me like say whether or not it's a good idea to come in. I put it to "Do Not Disturb." Ah. Thought this was live action, but... well, there's another one I know that's live action. Okay, now this feels like Stalker. Animation's pretty good. I'm going to assume those are zombies. Yeah, this is like, honestly, he reminds me of like those Freeman Mind source filmmakers, like in the sense that like those SFM Freeman Mind videos. Like, if you were to tell me this was like something from one of the actual games, like Call of Priat, I would probably believe you. In the main games yet. That does feel like... that is accurate. So far, this is a bit... Only thing I'm not familiar with is the faction logo, but hey, it could be something from Call of Pripyat. Most of these sound effects are apparently from Escape from Tarkov. I've never played that game, so...
Впереди! Да. А ну, чики! Сука! Блядь! Сука!
I love how he just accepts his fate.
Чисто. Вперед! Снайпер! Снайпер! Рассыпную! Давим план! Впереди! Что за хуйня? Сука, блядь! Назад! Уходим! Goddamn shit! Давай, давай! Давай, блядь!
That can't be... That's gotta be a painful way to go.
Работаем. Тихо. Ты слышишь? Вперед! Вперед! Ура! Работаем. Хорошо. Так, собрались. Достал уже все. Не лажаем, парни. Всё, блядь.
Hey, that guy's still alive. Oh, I know how it feels to deal with those controllers. Playing with a Mad Catz controller is unironically preferable to dealing with one of those. I'm talking about the bad ones that you save for your friends.
Go. Hey.
I was about to say it was missing that Russian Evanescence clone, but overall, that was a perfect fan film. There was I'm torn between making the rest of this a Factorio stream, even since I do have a reason to actually play it, or reacting to one more, or calling it stream early and reacting to one more film. If only I hadn't watched Bo Black's new video, I'd probably have something to react to. I think I'll set up engine produ. Let's do one more film. This one looks like it's actually live action, so... I'm keeping the subtitles on because I'm not sure if this is going to be in Ukrainian like the last one was.
Take the next left! You lost strength! What? Strength! It's the exit! Go, go, go!
Feels odd seeing them use a NATO weapon when... And... Oh, wait. I guess it could make... It isn't out of the question since, like... Shut him up. Just toss a few grenades in there. That's what I'd say if I was there. Is that an MP5 he's wielding, or...
Nice to see you too, Seeker. I thought you were dead. Yeah, well, you're always a bad shot. Do you have the compass? Dropped it. You ditched the compass? Left it back in the hellhole. The rest of my gear. Like I made it out alive. Although now, I'm not so sure. You got a light? This is all a fucking waste. There's always another artifact, Seeker. Always another artifact.
That's a bad time to you get caught in the middle of an mission.
Go find shelter.
We don't have time. We have to get back in that tunnel.
I'm not going back in there.
Either you get back in that tunnel or you're gonna die out here. Just 30 seconds. We need to move. Fine, right here. Let's go.
Wait, he probably has an artifact with him. I knew it. That was fun. Is Ryan Nunson related to Frederick Nunson, the guy behind Down the Rabbit Hole? Do I want to continue through the stream? Unless I finish a game, I usually like to stream for at least an hour, and I've hit that mark. I know what I can do. Let me get some... I'm going to show off how I've got everything set up for... Or call it Pripyat tomorrow. only there was a way you could time when... If only there was a way you could time when, like, it would switch over, like... I just will show off the settings that I'm going to use. Obviously, I'm not going to edit everything, but, like, mainly in relation to the game. I think this time I'll do the Stalker difficulty for the whole thing. Like, I don't know if I'll ever do Master but if I ever do Veteran, and I'll definitely come back to it. But if I ever do, like, a second playthrough, I'll definitely come back. And I thought of something else I could show off. Let me get it up the config... Let me show off some of the settings I'm going to use. Now, you don't need the Pripyat Reclamation Project patch as much as you do need the Zone Reclamation patch and the Sky Reclamation patch, the respective patches for Shadow of Chernobyl and Clear Sky. But still, I am installing this because as I do like to customize it. I figured that I can tell when and I'm visually looking, hence aim at the game, aim that night vision is on, so I'm only enabling the start and ending sounds. I don't know if this means nothing period or I just won't find any money, but I'm keeping it off. I like having a bigger radius, and besides, I'll probably go for night try and find a Seba suit earlier. I don't see any reason why there should be any sounds for binoculars. I'm mainly doing this so that, like, if someone accuses me of tweaking the game, I can just say, go watch this stream. I might actually just clip this. Head bobbing will probably be the one thing where if I have trouble, I'll just come back and fix it. I'm not messing with anything that has... Okay, yeah, so that's all the configurations. And then, you know what? I think I'm going to call it a stream here. I thought about reacting to the streamies, but I'd hate to, like, come in mid-show, so... Oh, and besides... I'm not that familiar with everything that's nominated. So the only thing I'd really tune in would be for the best VTuber awards or whatnot. But yeah, if you're watching this on the VOD, thanks for tuning in. And until then, I'm Andreas Rebel, and I will see you next assignment. Later.